Good morning, everybody. This is Underground Bass Gamer 05, and today I'm going to do something a little unusual in my reaction video. This time I'm not going to do it high. This time I'm not going to do it with any flash or panache. It's a simple yet memorable reaction because I've never seen this before. I've heard of it, I've never seen it. And so together we're going to watch it together. Nothing too flashy. But this is I believe, the 1969 committee hearing of Mr. Rogers. And had it not been for him and his efforts, I don't think children's programming would have existed even today. So let's listen in on what this is about. I actually want to hear this. I've heard of it, but I've just never seen it. So let's go ahead and get to it.
Rogers is certainly one of the best things that's ever happened to public television, and his Peabody Award is testament to that fact. We in public television are proud of Fred Rogers, and I'm proud to present Mr. Rogers to you now.
All right, Rogers, you got the floor.
Senator Pastore, this is a philosophical statement and would take about 10 minutes to read, so I'll not do that. One of the first things that a child learns in a healthy family is trust.
I just gotta say before I continue, Fred Rogers looks a whole lot like Jim Parsons. I mean, like, if at any time they would do, I mean, I'm glad they put Tom Hanks as the biopic, but I think Jim Parsons would have done great as like the younger version of Fred Rogers. I'm just saying. I mean, I'm still a Tom Hanks fan, but I do see a resemblance between Jim Parsons and Fred Rogers. Let's continue on before I start rambling.
I trust what you have said that you will read this. It's very important to me. I care deeply about children. My first children...
Will it make you happy if you read it?
I'd just like to talk about it, if it's all right.
Sir. Okay.
My first children's program was on WQED 15 years ago, and its budget was $30. Now, with the help of the Sears Roebuck Foundation and National Educational Television, as well as all of the affiliated stations, each station pays to show our program. It's a unique kind of funding in educational television. With this help, now our program has a budget of $6,000.
From $30 to $6,000 in 1969 is a lot. That's equivalent to, actually just add another zero. That's basically what you got. Like 60,000 today was almost like 6,000 back in the 60s. That I mean, then again, think about it. Back in the day, for like 70 or 75 cents, you could get a whole plate at Denny's. Just imagine $6,000 in 1969. And in certain states, people were not doing that well. You know, financially, things were drying up. Things were being underused and everything. So, you know, hats off to him for being able to raise that much money for his program.
It may sound like quite a difference, but $6,000 pays for less than 2 minutes of cartoons, 2 minutes of animated, what I sometimes say, bombardment. I'm very much concerned, as I know you are, about what's being delivered to our children in this country. And I've worked in the field of child development for 6 years now, trying to understand the inner needs of children.
So he's not just the host, he's got skills to back it up. You know, that's, most people just try to fake it. Most people just try to get like a fake credential to feel superior, but this guy's got what it takes to do the things that he says he can't do.
We deal with such things as the inner drama of childhood. We don't have to bop somebody over the head to make him, to make drama on the screen. We deal with such things as getting a haircut, or the feelings about brothers and sisters, and the kind of anger that arises in simple family situations.
So true, so true. In the world of kiddom, sometimes the creepiest thing can be a haircut. I can vouch for that. Between the ages of like 4 and 6, I hated going to a place where they will yank your hair, pull your hair, cut parts of you, and think it's okay. Yeah, I know exactly what it's like. That's why for years back then I never really had a substantial haircut, and because it was done wrong, and it would be painful because sometimes like with a like when they buzz your hair, sometimes they'll just go like a little bit too deep, and yeah, it'll hurt. You know, you're using metal to cut off your hair. Of course, it's gonna hurt. It feels scary. I would know. I even now I hate going to salons because they can't do it right. That's why I just cut my own hair. I save a buck.
And we speak to it constructively.
How long a program is it?
It's a half hour every day.
30 minutes.
Most channels schedule it in the noontime as well as in the evening. WETA here has scheduled it in the late afternoon.
Could we get a copy of this so that we can see it? Maybe not today, but I'd like to see the program.
I'd like very much for you
I'd
to
like
see.
to see the program itself, or any one of them, you see.
We made 100 programs for EEN, the Eastern Educational Network.
100.
And then when the
episodes.
money ran out, people in Boston and Pittsburgh and Chicago all came to the fore and said, we've got to have more of this neighborhood expression of care. And this is what I give. I give an expression of care every day to each child to help him realize that he is unique. I end the program by saying, you've made this day a special day by just your being you. There's no person in the whole world like you, and I like you just the way you are. And I feel that if we in public television can only make it clear that feelings are mentionable and manageable, we will have done a great service for mental health.
This is getting a little emotional even for me because I go through it. I go through mental health myself. But when you live in a society or with a family that says you're just faking it for attention, or it's not that he's mentally challenged, he's just being stupid, or there's nothing wrong with him, he's just looking for attention, it hurts. But but it's nice to know someone there like him actually cares.
I think that it's much more dramatic that two men could be working out their feelings of anger. Much more dramatic than showing something of gunfire. I'm constantly concerned about what our children are seeing. And for 15 years, I have tried in this country and Canada to present what I feel is a meaningful expression of care.
Do you narrate it?
I'm the host, yes. And I do all the puppets, and I write all the music, and I write all the script.
Well, I'm supposed to be a pretty tough guy, and this is the first time I've had goosebumps for the last 2 days.
Well, I'm grateful, not only for your goosebumps, but for your interest in our kind of communication.
I don't think there's any other person in the world at least someone with money. But someone like Fred Rogers could actually get someone higher up, like a politician, a senator no less, to actually be moved for something that gets constantly ignored in even today's media. I mean, we're dealing with a lot of stuff in today's society, but something like this, I mean, he has a way with words. He's got a way with words because, I mean, heck, this this is a soft-spoken individual. And he's not doing this for fame. He's not doing this for fortune. He's not doing it to make a name for himself. If I think if many other actors did this out of the kindness of their hearts and not just for profit and gain, I think Hollywood, or even just TV in general, would be highly more respectable than it was. He left behind a legacy that the celebrities have watched him when they were kids. I watched him when I was a kid. And I still remember the stuff he talks about every single day. I mean, this guy is fighting to make sure that, programs like this continue on the air because if if our parents or our family members can't talk to us about what we're going through, who's going to listen? Well, obviously this guy. He listens, and not just that, he tells us. He through the airways, it's like a free therapy session. You know, and even if he does make money, he's not doing it just for himself. I'm sure a lot of the money he gets paid goes into just the show itself, just to keep it going.
Could I tell you the words of one of the songs which I feel is very important?
Yes.
This has to do with that good feeling of control, which I feel that children need to know is there. And it starts out, what do you do with the mad that you feel? And that first line came straight from a child. I work with children, doing puppets in very personal communication with small groups. What do you do with the mad that you feel? When you feel so mad you could bite. When the whole wide world seems oh so wrong, and nothing you do seems very right. What do you do? Do you punch a bag? Do you pound some clay or some dough? Do you round up friends for a game of tag or see how fast you go? It's great to be able to stop when you've planned a thing that's wrong and be able to do something else instead and think this song. I can stop when I want to, can stop when I wish, can stop, anytime. And what a good feeling to feel like this and know that the feeling is really mine. Know that there's something deep inside that helps us become what we can.
Wow. I think there's more to it, but wow. Oh, God. These aren't fake tears that are coming out of my eyes. It's just real, real, real.
For a girl can be someday a lady, and a boy can be someday a man.
I think it's wonderful. I think it's wonderful. Looks like you just earned the $20 million.
And that Had he not done all of that, we wouldn't have the programs we grew up with today. And even to that day, he continued. Growing up, watching him, I'm thankful that I got to see someone like that on TV. Someone who isn't doing it for themselves. Someone who is the same character he is on the show and off the show. You see people in other children's programming, once they get off of work, they just take the costume off, drink, smoke, and have a bad attitude. But this guy, Mr. Rogers, he's the same way when he gets out of bed, gets into his car, drives to the set, does what he does, and then goes home the same guy he comes in. He doesn't go to the bar. He doesn't smoke a joint. He doesn't, do any hard drugs. He just, as we've seen, he's one of the most humblest of people. I may not know him personally, but I've seen the show enough to know that, he is what he is. And even people from his past. I mean, there was an interview that somebody had with his wife, and even she can confirm that he was never a violent person. He was never the tough guy. She said that he was the sweetest guy you can ever talk to, and also a big Tom Hanks fan. That if he were alive to know that someone was doing a biopic of him with Tom Hanks, I think he would enjoy it, according to his wife at least. Which there's an interview video of that, but it's just amazing that I think it was because of him. That's what I told myself if I was ever in Hollywood. I wouldn't change who I am with the fame and fortune that I would have. When I get out of bed, I'm a nice guy. When I go to work, I get pushed to be the bad guy at work, but I try hard to be the nice guy at work. Crack a few jokes, try to get at least familiar with the customers. And then I come home and I'm just still the nice guy people know. If I was doing that in Hollywood, I'd get into work, I'd, get out of bed, go to work, make a movie, film, TV, and then come back being the nice guy. If someone comes up to me for an autograph, sure. I wouldn't change who I am because of it. I wouldn't allow myself to do such a thing. And that's one of the few lessons from Mr. Rogers that I've learned. Just be yourself. People may not like you for you. Some people will. Some people will respect you for being you. And personally, I take the good with the bad. I take the bad with the good. I mean, some people are just too superficial. Some people may not be. Some people may be a little too humble, but I would consider myself a neutral. I'm more of a balanced person. I can be the bad guy if I wanted to, but I can also be the good guy if I really wanted to. I mean, sure, yeah, the world needs good and evil, but he shows that you can still be the person you are. You can be bad and good, but as long as you accept you for you, I think that's all that really matters. It's kind of emotional because I am getting a little teary eyed. Just hearing his voice brings nostalgia. And it hurts knowing that he's no longer around to help us get through it. I mean, if I would say, when do we need Mr. Rogers? Well, every day. Every day. But I hope you guys in the comment section, my viewers, and everybody enjoyed this reaction. Again, I've never seen this. I've only heard of it. These tears are real. I'm not faking it for attention. As someone who struggles through mental health, I can tell you that I don't fake emotions. But I hope everyone learned a thing or two, remembered a thing or two, and I hope we can all. Oops. And I actually hope we can all come together on this channel. I really do. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. I'll be hearing from you. I will respond every which way I can. And hopefully I'll see you guys in the next video. And be good to yourselves and each other.